Now, it's 8 figures, so that could be 10 million or 99 million.
Right.
Correct? That's the 8 figures. And she's going to have her own shoe.
If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it.
Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light.
It's genius to be able to sign her up, because think of all of the girls and women out there who loved Caitlin Clark, going to continue to follow her in the WNBA.
5 right now, Clark with the step back deep 2, money. That takes care of one category.
Although Caitlin Clark had a stellar reputation going into the WNBA, there were some skeptics. Ben, for example, wasn't entirely in awe of her draft into the league and wondered if her success in college basketball would translate to the professional ranks.
This is what they came for. Oh my goodness.
Players making jokes during news conferences in response to severe media criticism and persistent social media trolls. Caitlin has experienced everything.
I'm rookie leader in points, assists, and three-pointers. There is exceeding expectations, and then there is whatever Caitlin Clark continues to do in her rookie season in the WNBA.
The dispute around technical foul the refs versus Clark.
Bro, do you think the key was warranted?
A referee during a tight August 2024 game against the Connecticut Sun was one of the more surprising occurrences in Caitlin Clark's first season rather than a player. After slapping the padding on the back of the hoop in fury, Clark was issued a technical foul. Issued how subdued her response was during the post-game news conference. The ruling looked severe. Incredulous, Clark said that the referee had judged her action to be unsportsmanlike conduct.
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the 3 and then I went and hit the backboard. And he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. So where I said, damn it, where it's like a personal frustration, had nothing to do with my team, had nothing to do with their reffing, had nothing to do with other teams.
Many supporters and commentators concurred that technical was dubious, particularly for a player like Clark, who is renowned for maintaining her composure rather than allowing the situation to get to her. Caitlin used that resentment as motivation to help her team win, scoring 23 points and dishing out 9 assists.
Really sharp right here. No game slippage. Clark on the drive. Clark lays it in.
This was only a brief look at how Caitlin responds to hardship in the WNBA. Rather than fighting or being distracted, she lets her play speak for her, as she did against Diana Taurasi in the following.
Clark steps into it.
Diana Taurasi competition. Diana Taurasi's news conference on Reality Check before Caitlin ever played her first professional game. She had already caught the eye of NBA legend Diana Taurasi. In an interview conducted in February 2024, Taurasi was questioned about the flood of young talent joining the league, including Clark, to which she replied with a now famous statement.
The ball in your hands the whole game.
Quote, reality is on the way. There are layers to this phenomenon. You will observe it on the NBA side as well. You appear superhuman while competing against 18-year-olds, but it's on a different level when facing mature ladies who have played in this league for a long time. Quotation. Instead of immediately answering, many interpreted this as a crude shot at Clark, suggesting that the rising star could find it difficult to compete in the WNBA. Once more, Caitlin let her performance speak for itself.
Revived here in the second half. Clark with the show and go. Mitchell, the 3-ball. Wait!
When Clark first faced Terry's Phoenix Mercury in June 2024, she didn't just show up. She put on a strong show, scoring 15 points, grabbing 9 rebounds, and dishing out a game-high 12 assists to help the Indiana Fever win 88-82.
And that'll do it. The Indiana Fevers storm into the desert.
Caitlin put the nail in the coffin at their third and final game of the regular season in August, scoring 29 points, dishing out 10 assists, and grabbing 5 rebounds to lead the Fever to another victory. Clark wasn't done in their second meeting in July, where she scored 20 points, 13 assists, and 6 rebounds. This time, the Fever won by a score of 95-86.
Oh, buries a 3! Samuelson beats the buzzer!
Taza's remarks before the season. By managing hate on social media and everything, Clark demonstrated that she wasn't only prepared for the WNBA, but was already one of its rising stars.
Amazing. You know, what Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far has just been, it's been a lot of pressure, a lot of things thrown at her, and you know, she keeps showing up and keeps getting better every single game.
The reaction on social media following the Las Vegas Aces game was harsh, particularly for well-known athletes like Caitlin Clark. One of the harshest online outbursts of criticism Clark experienced occurred following an Indiana Fever blowout loss to the powerhouse Las Vegas Aces in July 2024, with a final score of 92-71, disappointing Fever supporters.
Yes, exactly. And it's good business for the league. It's good for the players.
By her standards, Mark had a poor night, grabbing 6 rebounds, 11 assists, and 13 points on 4 of 12 shots. Due in large part to Aces guard Kelsey Plum dominating the game with 34 points on Twitter and other media, her performance was closely watched. Many of her detractors referred to her as overrated, claiming that she was unable to keep up with the WNBA's finest guards. Caitlin Clark remained mute, at least vocally, when others asked if she could lead her team against elite talent. Instead, she answered in the only way she knows how, by doing well on the court.
Plum combining for 42 of Vegas's 61 points. Clark was able to drive.
4 days later, Clark recorded her first career trip and made history against the New York Liberty. Even more impressively, her performance ended Indiana's AME losing streak to New York, sending a clear message to her detractors to doubt her at their own peril. Angel Reese has been hearing this message for a while. She finished the game with 19 points, 13 assists, and 12 rebounds, making her the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double.
Triple-double here today. Not an easy shot. She's fading away. Clark with her 11th rebound, feeding Mitchell for 3.
The renewed rivalry between Angel Reese and in their first meeting of the 2024 season, Caitlin Clark didn't have her best game. She scored 11 points, grabbed 8 rebounds, and disheveled out 6 assists, but the Indiana Fever managed to squeeze out a 7,170 victory. The rivalry between Clark and Angel Reese, which started in college, followed both players into the WNBA, with Reese playing for the Chicago Sky and Clark leading the Indiana Fever. The tension is always evident.
And Indiana has its first home win of the season.
Indiana wins its first home game of the season. Reese, who is frequently outspoken in the media, expressed her displeasure with Clark's performance in a post-game interview, saying, "She got lucky this time. We'll see how she handles real pressure next time." As usual, Clark chose to reserve her energy for the upcoming game in June, when she scored 23 points, dished out 9 assists, and pulled down 8 rebounds, guiding the team to yet another victory over the Skies. This time, however, it was Clark who was speaking with her performance.
3 rebounding advantage. Clark pulls, fires, hits, 4-3.
Their rivalry reached its zenith in August when Chicago defeated Indiana by a slim margin of 1 point. Despite the defeat, Clark was outstanding, finishing with 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 13 assists. Reese made sure to use the media to celebrate the win, but Clark once again let her play do the talking while maintaining the emphasis on her performance and her team. This rivalry will not end anytime soon, and the league will benefit from both players' constant encouragement of one another.
9 points in the first half. Smith gets blocked.
I can't see her saying that.
Transition lock, Mitchell.
However, could she take over as team leader? The Indiana Fever's Caitlin Clark faced more than just personal jabs this season after a string of difficult defeats in June and July, which led many fans and analysts to doubt her capacity to guide a faltering squad. Bits suggested that while Clark might rack up impressive stats, she wasn't the type of player to take a club like the Heat to the playoffs.
Katie Lou Samuelson pushing pace. Mitchell scoops it in.
During a broadcast following a run of defeats, a prominent WNBA analyst said that Caitlin Clark is a talent for the future, but the Indiana Fever need a leader who can inspire everyone around her. The implication was obvious. Some questioned whether Clark could be the team's leader, but Clark chose to use the criticism as inspiration.
Couldn't finish. Behind the back again for Clark. Give her another assist.
and a chance for a three-point play.
After games, she played a crucial role against the Dallas Wings in late July as a facilitator and defensive leader in addition to being a scorer. Clark recorded a season-high 15 assists, scored 22 points, and pulled down 9 rebounds. The Fever triumphed 88-83, demonstrating that Clark wasn't only about the highlights and that she could elevate her entire squad when it counted. Ever then, Clark's leadership has remained strong, stifling many of the critics who questioned her capacity to manage a professional club.
Especially Caitlin Clark fans that love Caitlin's game, and Caitlin is having a phenomenal season. But what I want people to think about is FIBA and international basketball is 10 times more physical.
In conclusion, Caitlin Clark's first season in the WNBA has been difficult due to obstacles from rivals like Angel, the media, and referees like Diana Taurasi. Reese Clark has had her share of detractors, but each time they try to undermine her, she rises to the occasion. This season has demonstrated to us that Caitlin Clark is not just a remarkable talent, but also resilient. If you're among those who doubt Cait Clark, keep in mind that she's coming for you and bringing her aim. Tell us which of these moments you believe best exemplified Caitlin's abilities in the comment section, and we'll see you in the next video. No amount of trash talk media scrutiny or criticism can stop her. In fact, it seems to only make her stronger.